Hey kids, you're about to listen to a comedy podcast. That means that none of this is medical advice. If you need medical advice or medical care, please contact your doctor.
Welcome to the Jock Doc podcast,
where we discuss fitness and health and how to incorporate our modern understanding of science and medicine into our daily lives, but without it being so boring. I'm your host, drlennonsmith.com. I'd like to begin by apologizing to our listeners. We received some feedback about the excessive amount of technical medical terms that I've been using, such as dental enamel dysplasia and no ifs, ands, or rear ends. So I'll try to temper my terminology to a simpler one in the future. Here to help with that is our producer, Cameron.
Dr. London, I hate to do this, but we have some academic needs that we got to take care of.
Oh, okay.
If you're not familiar, for the last few weeks now, we've been talking about Jock University, which is the school that we are launching. It was supposed to have already been launched before the semester started, but things change. Plans
it's a soft launch, right? That's what you call it whenever you can't do it.
Yeah, and it's in beta. The school's in beta right now. And the main thing we're teaching them is both patience and hey, the things don't have to start on this rigid schedule, man.
Yeah. Well, it's free thinking. We're trying to teach free thinking in as structured an environment as possible.
But I have, their dormitories, which is sort of it's not even really a shack. It's sort of like an outdoor patio awning where all the students sleep. We need some sort of chaperone or something there. I'm thinking we could hire maybe a gym teacher who can have them do exercises, keep an eye on them, make sure that they're not getting into the snails, because those are my snails, those are my buddies, and that's not funny to put them on your face and take Instagram pictures. What if the snail doesn't want that? I don't.
Yeah. Just listen to the snail a little bit. Yeah.
But all that to say, we need to hire a gym teacher, and I think that can be our first official class to start, because we don't need classrooms or desks or all that stuff. You can just kind of do whatever. But I'm thinking
everyone's favorite part of school is the gym
exactly.
class. That's why they go, really.
So I'm thinking, let's just so we can pitch it, let's come up with what our gym requirements are. What does our gym look like?
Okay, yeah. So I think that we should have, most gyms are just flat. It seems like they're really flat when you walk in. And I think we should have stairs, because stairs are great exercise. Should have more stairs just throughout the gym, and in front of the basketball hoops especially.
Well, and also that's also real life. When you're going to be playing football or baseball or whatever, it's not going to be on this perfectly flat field. Sometimes it's going to be in an office building or a firehouse or a hill, a really hilly, mountainous, dangerous area.
Yeah. Because
so it's actually preparing people for the real world as opposed to this fake world.
Well, because people always say when will I actually use this? And it's algebra, I don't know. But this is preparing people for what, even if you don't make it big in the sport, you still will need these skills regardless.
What if you're being chased by something?
Yeah, or have to climb some stairs. Which, that's obviously theoretical, whatever, but...
Yeah. So, I think adding, obstacles and a lot of sharp edges and just sort of hills... I think I get where you're going at, because behind the school is just a very hilly. There's just a bunch of dirt piles and stuff.
Yeah. It's many. We made the hills, and I almost remember why. I'm really close to remembering why.
I can't really remember why, but there's also an abandoned construction project back there, which has half-built stairs.
Yeah.
Loose hammers lying on the ground.
Gotta be a reason for
just
that.
Boards.
Surely we had a reason for doing that.
But it sounds like we found the gym, right? That has everything we're talking about.
Yeah. It's yeah. That's what we were doing. Okay, yes.
Oh, yeah, that's why we were talking about this, but I didn't know why we built that in the first place.
Yeah.
The dirt piles and the abandoned construction
I didn't realize
project.
that's why. Yes, okay. It makes sense that we would have done that and built that. We did it.
We totally did that. But what do we? So like in gym, we've got to give a little guidance. Like, what should the gym teacher have them do? Because like I've seen some of these, especially in this like woke culture that like we live in. You see a lot of these like gym classes where it's like, oh, teacher, my hand hurts, so I can't play basketball or whatever. Or like, oh, teacher, like one of my parents died, so I get like 3 days off. Now I don't have to do any gym, and the kid's not even there.
Yeah. Okay. I immediately have a pitch for this. Grief counselors. We need more grief counselors in the gym.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
See, I get where you're going with that, especially in today's woke culture.
Yeah.
But what would like the opposite of a grief counselor be? I guess a grief causer.
Yeah. Clowns.
So could we have one of each?
Yeah.
You said clowns.
Yeah. Or one clown, I guess.
Okay. So if we have one grief counselor and then one grief causer, aka a clown, who's just running around chasing kids, that's the exercise.
Hey, these are young adults now. Okay. Say like these aren't. I mean, some of them will be children because.
And again, one of the major like demographics of this school are people like 80 plus.
Yeah, but it is a party school.
Yeah. But the kind of parties they want, like fun little surprise parties and like.
Not that surprising though. Not too surprising.
No, not scary. Like you know what's coming, but
yeah,
it's still fun.
Well, it's like just whenever everyone knows to yell, and like it's gonna come, but it's still yelling loud enough, like surprise, that you can handle it. But like it's the volume is still impressive.
I just love having the power of everyone focusing on me and they're all saying surprise to me. And in that moment, I'm sort of controlling everyone as if they're my puppets and I'm like the ultimate puppet master with sort of maybe like 8 or like spider legs or like octopus legs controlling a lot of different. Let me see. Let's see. If I had 8 arms and then each of the arms was holding one of those like marionette thingies. And that was controlling like 5 puppets each. So that's like 40 puppets. So like controlling that. Let's say there was 40 people at my surprise party. I'm controlling these 40 people with my 8 tentacles, sort of as my like puppet slaves and whatnot. And so like that to me is gym.
So we got to get more spiders in there.
Yeah. And I want to add one thing, maybe just like one day a week. I wish our gym did this, but remember when we used to play hit a stick?
Yeah, well, yeah, I remember the competitions we set up for it.
Yeah. And it's like when you'd find stray animals or whatever, and you just sort of like whack them with rulers.
Yeah. Yeah, which is like it sounds bad, but it's so funny.
But it's legal and it's funny.
Yeah, and the amount of I've lost so much money betting on those things.
Yeah,
like.
Well, it's not like we're dealing most of the time with like stray dogs or cats. It's usually like gators, or some of the like less desirable animals.
Yeah, the animals that everyone's very cool with us hitting with stuff. Yeah,
birds.
Yeah, escaped felons.
Yeah, eggs.
Yeah, the list goes on. So that's the gym.
I think we figured it out. All right, so I'm going to post all of that to Indeed.com or whatever, and we'll start getting some resumes in.
And later, we have some big prep stuff to teach you about. Won't spoil anything, but it's important what we're going to be talking about. It's one of these things like it's going to come along. You're going to have to be prepared. So.
And especially just with technology advancing as quickly as it has.
Yes.
Recently, like just the fact that every person in the US has this 10-digit number assigned to them that if they put it into a device, they can then talk to that person like it's actual magic, like they're in the room.
And you're like, okay, social security numbers, surely they shouldn't work that way. But I'm like, I've given my social security number to so many people and they just call me up. So, technology, it's crazy. Before we move on, I would like to address a bit of listener feedback, okay? And it's just a little bit. We actually have a live feed today. So it's kind of new for us, so it's just questions that people are asking from all walks of life. So this one comes from, it's a TikTok. It's a comment in our response to "I'm pregnant and it's yours." At Kiss Me Crabs said, quote, "Thoughts on being a baby daddy," end quote. So thank you so much for this feedback. I've looked into it, and I don't think babies can or should have children, father children. I think it's like at most they should have a pet fish, maybe.
Yeah, but what if this was sort of like a Freaky Friday mind swap situation? I think they're asking, like, have some empathy for a second, for once in your damn life, Dr. London, and really put yourself in the shoes of someone who mind swapped with their baby. So everyone's looking at their old body and can barely walk, just sort of knocking things around, can't feed themselves, just sort of babbling. Meanwhile, you're sitting there as a baby, the baby daddy, and you're stuck and you can't do anything except for what? Cry?
Yeah. Wow. I didn't.
And even when you can start to talk, it's going to be really creepy if you're like, okay, you have to believe me. Like, I switch bodies. Like, we have to figure this out. Like, immediately they're going to assume some sort of like demonic possession or something. Like, that's just so insanely creepy that your wife and your baby daddy are going to be really shocked.
Oh man, it's gotta mess with them. I think back what I said, because I was saying like they should or shouldn't do this. You know what? Maybe I should be pro-choice about this specific situation too. You know what? If you are a baby daddy due to a Freaky Friday situation, blessings to you, and I hope you figure out how to. And like this is once again, in my opinion, I hope you figure out how to switch back, because
it's not really for me to say.
I get okay, yeah. I feel like if I talk it out, I am going to be convinced the same direction as you, that just pro-choice, and yeah, you can choose whether to be a baby daddy or whatever. Yeah, you know what? I don't want to stick my hands in. Okay. I'm trying to be more inclusive and tolerant. But thank you so much for that feedback, and I hope that helped you. Now for today's medical topic, calcium oxalate nephrolithiasis, or kidney stone. So nephro refers to the kidneys, and lithiasis refers to a calculi, or a hard object like a stone. And so there are 4 types of nephrolithiasis, but the most common type is composed of calcium oxalate. Clinically, patients with calcium oxalate nephrolithiasis classically present with a sudden onset of severe pain originating in the flank, and that's like below your rib cage on the back, on the side, kind of. And
the butt.
No, it's above the butt. See, this is also confusing to me. But no, it's above. It's superior would be the term we would use. Superior to the butt. It's.
But what if you had the area between your rib cage and your butt removed, just for like cosmetic reasons?
Let me. Well, yeah, I feel like it would still be more likely to be behind the rib cage at that point, not in the butt, because that's where like there's not a lot of space in the butt for a kidney. Do you see?
Okay, it just still sounds like the butt, but you can keep going.
So they'll have severe pain originating in the flank and also radiating inferiorly and anteriorly. So the pain will move. The location of the pain can change based on which part of the urinary tract.
Just like a butt does. That's like the main thing a butt does is move when you shake it.
I mean, it's one of the. I guess I don't think of shaking a. I guess I do. And never mind. You're right. I do think of that. Yeah. So. The location of the pain can change based on which part of the urinary tract is obstructed by the stone. Half of patients also have nausea and vomiting. Because of the intensity of the pain, patients can also have tachycardia, that's a high heart rate, hypertension, that's high blood pressure. They can be writhing and have dramatic costovertebral angle tenderness. And that's the part. Costo is the ribs, vertebra is the vertebrae, so it's tenderness right there where it meets.
Yeah. And where is the most tender part of the body? It's the butt. I just don't know. I think you're just afraid to say it. Like, you've never said the word butt in your life, and you're just trying to avoid it so much. You don't think that butt is maybe in a spectrum? Like, maybe it's not as narrow as you think.
Right. And am I being too like harsh and judgmental by putting butt? Wow, I said it. Okay.
By defining the butt as just the area right around the butthole. I think a butt can be from the neck all the way to the ankles if you want.
Okay. I guess. This is one of these things where, like, I know you've been in Reddit forums and arguing this a lot, and so I'm like, it's new to me, I guess, is really all.
Yeah. And people don't like it. They keep saying this is the Kansas City Chiefs, the NFL team forum. Like, really, none of this is relevant to anything we're interested in.
Yeah, it's once again this question of inclusivity,
which is infuriating.
Yeah, like, okay, what if I happen to be dealing with this while at a game? You know. Anyway, so initial tests for calcium oxalate nephrolithiasis are typically urine dipstick tests to demonstrate blood cells, with a test for bacteriuria, it's a nitrite test, and urine culture in case of a positive reaction, and serum creatinine levels to measure renal function. Renal means kidney. Diagnosis of calcium oxalate nephrolithiasis, or kidney stones, can be done with non-contrast abdominopelvic CT scan. This can determine stone location and density. Then you also have renal ultrasonography as an approach that can be used separately or in conjunction with plain abdominal radiography. Intravenous pyelogram is another imaging modality, along with plain renal tomography, retrograde pyelography, and nuclear renal scanning. And then treatment.
All of these are just slang words for butt, like from rap songs and stuff.
You think renal ultrasonography is...
Oh, yes,
okay.
Absolutely. That's nasty.
Okay. Yeah, I
didn't know you had it in you, Dr. London. That's nasty.
Okay. I guess I don't... I haven't been, like, in the streets. That's where you said you learned the words, right? The streets?
Yeah, Main Street.
Yes, okay. I don't think...
Yeah. It's outside my mom's house.
Yeah. Well, because it's a cul-de-sac, and that's everyone ends up there. Yeah. So treatment for calcium oxalate nephrolithiasis includes IV hydration, NSAIDs like ibuprofen, alpha blockers like tamsulosin to facilitate stone passage, antiemetics like ondansetron, and antibiotics for associated infections. Thiazide diuretics specifically can help treat hypercalciuria, which, as you might guess, a calcium oxalate stone would involve too much calcium in the urine. And stones that are 7 millimeters and larger are unlikely to pass spontaneously, and those will actually require some type of surgical procedure for removal. The formation of calcium oxalate nephrolithiasis can be impacted by inadequate calcium and fluid intake, as well as other conditions. So be sure to drink plenty of water to avoid having kidney stones.
And that's you also have to do that to have a big butt. You have to drink a bunch of water because that's what the butt is full of. It's like a waterbed.
I mean, it's not full of, like, there is water there.
Yep.
And
that's science for you.
But I don't know that I wouldn't say waterbed consistency. Like, I know yours, like...
Yeah, after I got the surgery where I put sort of like cotton mattress stuff, I replaced my butt with sort of a...
Yeah, the cotton mattress, which to me, that's not a waterbed, right? That's just a regular mattress.
Yeah, but it's filled with water.
Well,
You said it. You said it.
Okay. So anyway, I personally aim to drink 2 liters of water a day, and that's just try to drink plenty of water, and you can hopefully avoid worrying about a kidney stone. All right, now there's another lesson here that I think is really important, and it's so important that we thought today's the day. We need to just deal with it. This might be a multi-part thing. I don't know, because there's just so much to cover. But time travel will be possible any day now.
Yeah, it's when you see, like we said before, when you see the advancements in technology, when you see things like, I typed into my computer, like, where is like the closest Jack in the Box, and it knew not just the one that's the closest, but other ones. It actually pointed me to a different one that was further away.
Yeah, but it's sponsored, right?
But yeah, it was sponsored, which is so it was better. And it's like, that's sort of the level of technology that we're having to deal with. And, everyone's talking about AI and generative whatever and NFTs. And we know that the next thing that's around the corner is going to be a little more drastic, don't you think, Dr. London? Like, I look at this AI stuff and like, this is like kids' candy compared to what we're going to be dealing with time
travel. Yeah. So like, and I know once again, we have the live feed of listener questions coming in because this is such a fascinating topic. One of the questions that I know we're going to get, and I'm going to just get ahead of it. Yes, we are currently traveling through time forwards. We already figured that out.
Yes.
Okay.
And we did the scientific experience. What's it called when you do the scientific thingy?
Experiment. Yeah.
We did the scientific experiment, and each time it came back with the same answer. And that time is moving forward at a rate of 1 second per second. Yeah.
Yeah. And like we checked those numbers. I didn't check it, but like you're pretty good at math, right?
Yeah, well, and I asked GPT.
Okay, yeah. So today we are gonna get ready for the future. Essentially, we're looking forward, and we want to see when time travel becomes possible. What events do we need to go back and affect? Because like you remember in these movies, they're like, oh, you have to go to this specific day and time to stop this event. And I don't remember all days and time normally, but we have to.
Well, and I think we should also, what do we need to prep for this adventure as well? Like the things to bring, the things not to bring, the things to remember what to do and not do.
Yeah. So I guess first for me, I'd say sunscreen. Probably have to have sunscreen.
Yes, unless you're going too far back in time where someone sees that and they're like, this is witchcraft.
Right.
Unless you're trying to convince people you're a witch, which then you would want to do that.
Yeah. So, and we are going to walk through each of these scenarios. Everyone's so critical because once again, surviving can be tough back in the day.
You have to be flexible. Like not every plan is going to be the same. Like what's the first time period on your list that you're going back to, Dr. London?
So this is kind of all the conspiracy heads out there are going to hate that I'm doing that because but it's a real thing. Okay, so back in the day, the CIA literally did drug stuff. Okay.
Oh, like they were smoking that green stuff. They're like watching Cheech and Chong. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I don't really know. Like, it's CIA, so I think it's all secret. But there's a big conspiracy of what did the CIA do and what does it even stand for. And so I want to go back and find out what it stands for, and like the letters, and then also ask them if there's drugs.
Wow. So, just to go back in time and to be able to actually smoke down and smoke out with some of the like raddest old school CIA agents. Wow. Highest priority. That's really cool. So, like in that instance, for example, you might want to bring like your phone and some sort of piece of technology that you can use to barter your way into the CIA offices. Like you can be like, guys, I'm not just a crazy guy off the street. Look at my iPhone. Like, show me where the blunts are at.
Yeah, that's right. And like, some people might be criticizing here and say like, what are your first idea is to go back in time and just get high? No, No, it's to get answers about that.
Yeah, but you just
Okay.
gotta smoke a little to like really get the questions going. To be like, so like, what if we're like in a simulation, or like even we're in a simulation of that simulation?
And then like, guys, I'm traveling through time right now. Isn't that ridiculous?
I'm actually moving forward. My body is a space vessel in the fourth dimension, moving along a linear line.
Yeah. Isn't that sick, man? And also, time is space? Or my math teacher said that one time.
Oh, man, and that means space is time.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's wild.
So, sorry, we have a listener question here.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, these are coming in. Okay. This is a comment in response to "I'm pregnant and it's yours" from TikTok. At no one cares shut said, quote, "So what are we naming her/him?" End quote. So thank you so much for this feedback.
I mean,
name calling isn't nice.
Yeah, and it's like that's not nice. I was just gonna say, like, the Mona Lisa already has a name. Like, I don't understand why there's suddenly all this pressure on me. I think this comment might be directed towards me on what I'm gonna name the Mona Lisa. I don't know where this started.
But like, you've seen the protesters out there saying like, give it a name, and
but like, give the people what they want. I'm like, what do you want? Like, give me a name suggestion, and no one is even throwing anything.
Well, because
out
it's
there.
your job. You're like, I hate to take their.
And it's just, I don't remember getting hired for this. I don't remember getting assigned or voted into this position. But man, it's really taken the world by storm, and people are pissed about it.
Yeah, I hate to take their side, but like, it is on you. Like, it's like no one else is gonna do this.
Okay,
right?
The Mona Lisa is named Grover now.
Huh. Okay.
Well, see, this is the issue. No matter what I pick, people are gonna be furious. There's no correct answer. If I do another online poll, we're going to have the same issue where the number one thing that's voted is Dr. London Poo Poo Face, which I would be fine with, but you weren't crazy about.
Yeah, it's not. I don't see the Mona Lisa as being a Dr. London Poo Poo Face. Like, the aesthetic, I don't think is that.
Yeah,
you know
it's
what I mean?
more like paint and stuff.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so I guess we'll table this one for now, because like no, sure, like Grover was a great name, but like is you know what I mean?
Is it just the Muppet? Is that the issue?
No, the president, Cleveland, Grover Cleveland.
Yeah, sure, okay.
Yeah, just like I don't want to say he's canceled, but like, it's not a great association.
Yeah. He was literally canceled off this earth by the Lord. Yeah.
And he was smitten. Not the love kind either.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you so much for this feedback. I hope that answers your question. Back to the task. So where would you go back in time?
Okay, so the first place I would go back in time, sort of a similar thing, not exactly the CIA, but I'm going to go back to the famous date 11/22/63, right before the assassination of Steve's dad from Blue's Clues.
Yeah, okay. And this is one of those things where we do have to start thinking about how it's going to impact the future.
Yeah.
Okay?
Well, that's why I'm doing it. I'm going back there. No one, the man so far has not been assassinated. But I know that part of my assignment is to go back there and do that. And I assume someone else's assignment is to go back at that same time and also try to stop me from doing that, et cetera, and so on. But someone has to like kick that off initially. You know what I mean?
Too. So it's, yeah. And once again, like, yeah, the burden falls on you. And I get that. 'Cause for each of these most of this is going to be assassination attempts. Like, most of our going back in time, we're going to assassinate people. Sorry, just to get out ahead of this, we are not going to kill baby Hitler. Okay, babies are super cute. So
babies are super cute and they stink and they've got like poop in their diaper and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think like maybe a 6 or 7 year old Hitler I'd be more comfortable with, sort of.
Yeah.
Chopping up.
Yeah, and I guess this does come to my next one. I'm gonna go back in time to various ages of Hitler and like see if I can work up the gumption to kill him.
Or you go back to various ages of Hitler's youth and try to seduce him.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's. I'm like, sure. We've all kind of got a little crush on. Like, I know it's bad, but we all kind of have a little crush on him, and I'm worried that I'll overcommit. That we'll get married and like that we'll start a family, and then suddenly I'm, partnered with genocide. And
I assumed that part of this plan would be using your relationship to sort of prevent the atrocities that he brought around, not to just to be along for the ride. I assumed it was there was some sort of larger motive to sort of like, hey, let's really focus on art and stuff, and some of these beliefs aren't really thought out. And
I mean, if you look into his eyes and like he talks the way he talks, and like I just don't know how
much you want to say about this subject. But whether or not certain, charismatic people can convince certain other people, or
you know what, I think I need to, like, for my own sake, because I know I can be tempted by stuff, I think I need to go ahead and just try to kill him.
I think that's the safest thing. Go for 6 or 7 years old, or maybe go for like 15. Were cars around back then? Yeah, you can just run him over with a car or whatever.
Yeah, or a horse and buggy, right? Like, those are cars.
Yeah, just whatever's around. I mean, okay, this is an important time travel tip, regardless of the time period. When you get back there, we know enough about the future to know that it is going to be Terminator rules. So you're just sort of randomly in a place and you're naked. So, like, what's the first thing, Dr. Lennon, that you do when you first time travel? So you're in the middle of a field, completely nude. You're buff as hell.
Try to find sunscreen.
Oh,
yeah,
man,
you're
okay.
gonna be very muscular.
And this is a situation where you don't want people to think you're a witch, so you didn't bring the sunscreen yourself.
Okay.
Because clothes don't go through the time travel portal, but like sunscreen bottles, iPhones, things like that do.
Yeah. Well, it's just like the stuff you'll actually need, yeah. But it will be very much Terminator style in the you're gonna be huddled over and then stand up fully nude, and just stuff is gonna be next to you. So what else will I get?
So that's a tip. You can't bring too much because then you're having to carry it.
Yeah, and you don't have pockets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. We have another listener chiming in here. This is from TikTok. It's coming in response to Keanis Reeves at Stupu _ said, quote, "Can you tell my friend Jackson to stop filming his sister peeing?" End quote. So thank you so much for this feedback. We do get this question a lot, but no, we can't tell Jackson anything. No one wants to talk to Jackson.
That's
okay?
Sort of the biggest issue we've run into is just the idea of communicating with him. Sounds so exhausting and also disgusting.
Yeah.
Well, and also, like, Jackson, you know what people have been saying about him, right?
I mean,
4 toes.
What? Yeah, and he keeps them in his pocket.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Leave them at home like everyone else.
Yeah. Just, and he's one of these guys who like he is actually cool if you hang out with him, but like the getting over that initial icebreaker portion is so annoying.
Yeah, because he's actually one of those guys who can like hang out with everyone, like the cool people, but also the nerds, and is like really fun and stuff. But also just like because of the toe thing, really kind of sucks ass. Yeah.
Well, because he's gonna bring it up, or you are, and it's so awkward. And like you'll go for a handshake, and you'll be able to think about is, didn't he touch the toes with that hand?
Yeah.
And
you see him fiddling in his pocket, and you're like, he's just like playing with the toes in his pocket.
With the toes, yeah. I should say, like, we haven't confirmed the toe situation. This is a rumor still.
Yeah.
But like, it's gotta be true. It's gotta be true.
I asked ChatGPT about it.
And what did they say?
That was the one. That's what told me about the toe stuff, and then I told everyone.
Okay. Yeah. So
yeah, we will not be contacting, or we will not be communicating with Jackson. Not now, not ever.
Yeah, sorry.
For all those reasons
not
and more.
Sorry. Yeah. Thank you so much for that feedback. I hope that helps you with your life. Okay, back to so my next place to time travel to. Oh wait, no, sorry, I went last, right? Hitler. Now it's your turn.
Oh yeah. Well, I wanted to answer even like, what do I do? I'm awakening in the past.
Right. Yes.
Completely nude with like my iPhone and stuff with me, or sunscreen and like bug spray probably.
Yeah.
And maybe just like a cool wristband, like a leather bracelet.
Yeah. Something like that one that has the little snap thing on it, like the little metal thing where you just snap it together.
I'm thinking like a Velcro leather bracelet, just so I can take it on and off so easily.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Can I? Yes. Velcro chain wallet.
Oh, a Velcro leather wallet chain sounds so badass. Yes.
Yeah. So you can like, if it falls out of your pocket, you catch it with your wrist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the first thing you want to do once you wake up in this field naked is to find the nearest tree, which will allow you to climb it, which lets you see the surrounding animals in the forest. These are going to be probably like foxes, maybe some bunnies, raccoons, things of that nature. This is the part where you need to befriend these animals so they can cover your nude body. That they'll be your friends, they're not going to bite you, and they're also going to follow you wherever you go, and also know to stay in this area and to sort of essentially be clothes.
Yeah. And one thing people don't realize about time travel is that you will feel deeply ashamed of your body.
Oh, gosh.
In the past.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, even if that's something like you've worked through that insecurity in the present time, back then you haven't yet. Back then you are super insecure about your body. And like, but you are super ripped, but like you don't realize it's like a sort of a body dysmorphia thing.
Yeah. You're super insecure. It's 1642. You've got your iPhone with you, and you're walking around with sort of wild animals as your clothing. Like kind of a perfect normal guy. But this is one of the key things, is actually blending in with your surroundings, Dr. Leonard. You don't want to stand out like a sore thumb, because then everyone's going to want to borrow your time truck. It's like when you own a truck. If everyone knows you have a truck, the second it's like, oh, hey, man, we haven't hung out in a while. Can you help me move? Anytime someone in the past needs to time travel, they're going to be like, this is crazy, but can I borrow like the time machine? Like, I gotta go. I forgot my wife's birthday. I just gotta go back a couple days, man. And it's like, okay.
Like, okay. And like, and because it's one thing to emphasize here, like, you have to be responsible with this power. You can't go to your friends' wives' birthdays. Not unless, like, you have to kill someone there.
Or you have to assassinate someone, yeah. But you're likely not invited, so.
Yeah, so you can't go anyway. Okay, sorry, we have another comment here. This is TikTok, a comment in response to Opinion on Fat Balls, at QBC, and that's spelled out C. They said, quote, cheers, mate. I can now go to sleep, end quote. So thank you so much for this feedback. Don't do it. You have so much to live for.
Yeah, there's no reason to go to sleep right now. There's really, really not. Save yourself.
Yeah. I can't. I'm trying to imagine willfully doing that, and it's just like there's so much in the waking world.
And just think about
like,
all
you
the
can
things.
Look around.
Think about all the things you're missing at like 3 a.m. Yeah, looking around still exists at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Looking at your
Not everyone
phone,
knows that.
still allowed to do it at 3 a.m. No one's stopping you.
Yeah.
Food is still there.
Sorry, you're not always allowed to look at your phone at 3 a.m. Like, because we have curfews and our like screen time is limited, and in my house, you aren't actually allowed to do that. But looking around. Sorry, go on.
Oh no, just food is there. Like food is nighttime has food. Nighttime has like socks, clothing, PJs, all the things that you get in daytime. Nighttime still has. So please do not give in to this temptation to go towards the darkness. Close your eyes and just let it all end until next morning. Don't do it.
Yeah, don't.
Stay awake.
So I hope that answered your question. Thank you so much for that feedback. And then we have another. This is some feedback on TikTok on comment on our response to quote this can blow up indefinitely. Y'all are hilarious. Let's see. At Lando Bando 293 said, quote, "You too, huh? Make sure to leave me a space in the glove box," end quote. So thank you so much for this feedback. I keep all my stuff in the glove box, so like I don't know if I can leave space for this listener. Like I keep obviously my gloves, and my glove collection's gotten so big now. I really can't. Like people say, don't maybe keep some gloves in your closet or whatever, but this is a box made for the gloves.
Right, it's in the name. You keep sauces in there.
Yeah. I have boxing gloves take up a lot of the space. My mittens, and my driving gloves, my not driving gloves. Let's see, my fingerless gloves, and then the fingers for those gloves as well, in case I want to put them back together.
You have blown up gloves, like rubber gloves, but you blow them up like a balloon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it reminds you of how
those take up a lot of space too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also just how a hand looks, kind of. Yeah, so I get the request. I get it, but I can't comply. Sorry. There's just not space.
You could get rid of at least one of the guns.
How?
I guess unload the clip, Just point it at something and shoot till there's no bullets left.
No, I've tried this before. Like, the gun's still there.
Oh.
You think once it's empty.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. You see the issue? Yeah. Tried it. Like, I've tried to troubleshoot this thing, but no matter how many times you shoot a gun, the gun is still existing. So.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So thank you so much for that question. I hope that answered your question. Back to time travel. Now, whenever I go back in time, I'm not just thinking of going back to the 1600s, whatever. I want to see dinosaurs, right? To assassinate them. And so one of the questions you're gonna have to ask yourself is how do I? What kind of weapon will do that? And the
answer is an ATV.
Yeah.
A four-wheeler.
Try to run them over.
An all-terrain vehicle. That can go through the time machine. Clothes can. The ATV can. And yeah, I mean, sorry, I interrupted. You were going to talk about maybe putting swords or something on the end of the ATV.
Well, it's this is one of those things you can just get it whenever you get to the past. Have a little knife, but only for the sake of crafting spears out of stone and sticks and stuff. But like you don't want to bring like it's like there's plenty of space. Like you can bring all that, but like why just do it when you get there? You'll have less to carry at first. So you're gonna get to the past, make spears, and attach them, to the ATV. And like just kind of basically be resourceful while you're there.
Yeah. Because this is going to be one of those sort of paradox things where, dinosaurs went extinct and we don't know exactly why. But the answer is because at one point in the future, we're going to go back in time and all the humans are going to assassinate all the dinosaurs. That's how they become extinct.
With ATVs,
And we have, again, that's our job. If we don't fulfill that, then it's going to like mess up the whole space-time continuum.
Yeah, all these movies, people say like, oh, you have to be careful what you do in the past or else it'll change the future. No, the future is dependent on so many things that we haven't done yet. And we have to. So
because at some point, someone did go back in time to do it and we weren't aware of that. And that person's destiny is eventually going to be fulfilled. And can you imagine a world where Jurassic Park didn't exist because dinosaurs were still around because no one took an ATV back in time and ran over dinosaurs with it? Could you imagine that?
I'm struggling.
$1 billion at the box office. $1 billion.
Comprehend that. Okay. Okay. And I don't know if this triggered it, but we do have another question here. This is from TikTok. This is a comment in response to "You look kind of like Shaq." You ever get that? At Kisa Me Crabs said, quote, "Would you let Shaq hit it from behind?" End quote.
And that,
thank you so much for this feedback.
Yeah, that I get why this person's asking. I'm guessing they've seen the footage. There was sort of an antagonistic beef between you and Shaq. You would go jogging in your neighborhood. Shaq would sort of track you down on an ATV, on a four-wheeler, and sort of hit you from your behind, your butt, your ass. He was running into your asshole.
Yeah. And I said at the time, and I still maintain it, that's cheating. If you use an ATV, if I'm running, that's cheating.
Right, because you don't have wheels. Now, if you were roller skating, this would get into tricky territory because you are technically a vehicle at that point.
Yeah, I agree. If I were on wheels, then yes. Like even Heelys, I would argue. If I were wearing Heelys, which I didn't have Heelys on, they were in my bag. I had them in my bag, not on my feet. So it doesn't count.
Yeah, it doesn't count. Yeah. And so Shaq, if you're out there listening, Dr. London does not like being hit from behind unless the context is appropriate.
Yeah. But so thank you so much for that question. That's really helpful. That brings a lot of insights. Okay, we have another question here. This is from at S-U-P-E-R. They said, quote, "You reviewed my profile. You better post a video, either his." End quote. So thank you so much for this feedback. Is this how people say, like, checking you out? That you reviewed my profile?
Yeah, I think it's sort of Zoomer lingo for, like, yeah, are you checking me out?
Okay. I mean, I was.
And that's why...
But, like...
This is why, like, people get all kind of annoyed when they get, something reported, and it's like, a moderator reviewed your content and decided it was breaking all these rules. But that's like they're flirting with you. That's the moderator's way of like winking at you and being like, "Oh, oh no, what if you had to contact me and like resolve this?" Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I guess I could appeal. Oh, I'll appeal again. It's just, but like, it is all about communication, and I'm glad. Like, it's a good thing, I think, ultimately that we have these exchanges going on. That people really learn from it, and sometimes get married. So,
love wins.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, love wins. Thank you so much for that question. That's great. We have another one from the same person. At -U -P -E -R said, quote, "Not gonna lie, you literally are Jesus every time you pop up. I'm forced to watch. I love this," end quote. Thank you so much for this feedback. We can't talk like that anymore. The feds do not like it whenever people say I'm Jesus or Cameron's Jesus. Like,
it's right. Legally, we need to specify the Jock Talk podcast is not a religion. Okay? Like, we're not a religion. We have never, held people against their will or ever, like, force people to, like, give us all their possessions and, like, give us their house and their car to, like, get eternal life and all of these things. We've never done that because we're not a religion.
Yes.
We're not like a cult or...
We stopped doing stuff that looked a lot like that days ago, okay?
Thursday. I think on Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday we stopped.
Afternoon, after 2 p.m.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
2:30, yeah.
We got lunch first. Yeah. So like we've sworn we already weren't doing that, but now we definitely swore it off, and we don't even I don't let people give me elaborate gifts anymore. Unless I guess I do accept, but I don't let it be for the bad reasons.
And we are just a podcast, 2 hosts, a compound with about 50 of our listeners. And sure, when we run meetings, is it usually me, Dr. London, and DJ Dylan, leading the meetings? Sure. And if people want to donate their cars or their wives or their stuff, all their Xbox or whatever, that's fine too.
Certainly all their time.
But that's not a religion. That's a podcast. This is a comedy / medicine / cancel culture / snowboarding / knitting podcast.
That's right. And we're looking into getting into crocheting too, because I've been trying to figure out what won't get us in trouble, and it looks like that's one of the few things. So, we're anyway. Just wanted to get on this now. We aren't getting people to build a larger compound either. That's not happening. We stopped that on Thursday. If anyone's still working on it, it's heavily supervised. So, so some of the listeners are building a statue of Dr. London that looks shockingly like the Jesus statue in Rio, Brazil. Yeah.
The giant
it's
one,
a little bit
but
bigger.
That you can't stop people from making statues. That's just art. That'd be illegal.
It's just art.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, thank you so much for that feedback. I hope we answered your question. And on the larger question of time travel, I think we're going to have a part 2. Honestly, it's just so much information on how to go back and assassinate everyone.
And
so,
Dr. Lennon, I hate to blow your mind. This entire time, from the start of this podcast till now, we've been time traveling. At 1 second a second. Which even means 1 minute a minute. 1 minute per minute.
This is... it's so much. It's so much to unpack. And
I really
feel
trips you out when you think about it.
Stupid that we tried to do it all in one, because it can't be done. So tune in next time that we decide to do the thing. And thank you to our producer Cameron. Thank you to Digital in the house.